Welcome to the Museum of East Anglian Life. The Museum of East Anglian Life has existed on its present site since the late 1960s, and over that time it's collected about 40,000 objects. When it first opened, it was focusing on rural life in East Anglia, lots of different hand tools, bits and pieces that people found in sheds and farms, and felt were important to the lives that they'd led on the land. Over time that's changed. People don't live as close to the land as they used to, so now we have to think slightly differently about our collection. So as we move forward, we're looking more to concentrate on themes related to food, because obviously working on the land and food are very, very closely linked. So we have displays that relate to that, and we're also focusing on collecting new objects in that area at the present time.
So Search for the Stars is our digitisation project here at the museum. We are taking all of our record cards and putting them on an online collections management system. So we're taking this information and putting it on a programme called eHive. And the reason for doing this is to get it all online so that we know what we've got in our collection, and so the public can view the collection through the website, but also it's giving us an opportunity to go through every object one by one and to highlight any star objects that we come across. So that could be anything that interests people. And this is a big volunteer-powered project, so we've got about 400 volunteers who've engaged with it so far, and the trainees have been a really vital part of recruiting those volunteers, of training them up and answering any queries.
Hi, my name's Nathan and I'm a trainee here at the Museum of East Anglian Life, and this morning I'm in the museum small object store and I am preparing objects from our collection, taking them out and taking them over to a temporary gallery where they're going to be part of an exhibition that I've been helping to organise. So one of the highlights has been, it's like part of planning exhibitions and just generally working in the museum and the day-to-day and doing the digitising work, is when you open up a box, you literally sometimes never know what you're going to find inside it, and for me it's often the very small objects which often get overlooked that are actually the most interesting. So for the exhibition that I'm helping to curate, this is a livestock bell, but it's in the shape of an acorn, and just the little details. So like every day, literally, you come across like hidden treasures, and that's definitely been a highlight of my time at the museum.
We are standing in our large object store, and this is where our photography studio is located. It's in the shed here, and this is where we do our Shooting Stars project, which accompanies a Search for the Stars. So Shooting Stars photographs every single object in our collection, and we're able to measure the item, give it kind of a little bit of cleaning, and also kind of confirm the location of where that object is stored. So all of that information then gets added to eHive along with the Search for the Stars information, and along this process it also gives volunteers who are working in the shed a chance to kind of highlight any star objects along the way.
I've had the opportunity to work on some really exciting projects during my time at the museum. So one exhibition I got to help out with was called The Year I Went Haywire, and I worked with an artist. It was a really creative process, and I got to have control over sort of organisation and planning, installation and marketing and press release.
So it's really important, not just for our museum, but for the heritage sector as a whole, to make our sites as accessible for our audiences as possible. And one of the things that I've really found enjoyable this year is organising access review visits. I contacted a range of local groups whose members, some of them were deaf, some of them had visual impairment, some had developmental needs like autism, and I arranged a series of access evaluation visits whereby small groups came around the site and they evaluated our footpaths, they evaluated the signage, they evaluated our interpretation, and they gave us really, really honest feedback about what the museum's doing right, but also, more importantly, what we need to improve. It was just really, really great to spend a day with these guys, people whose voices often aren't heard, and really give them a chance to tell us face to face what the museum was doing well, and also what we need to implement to improve.
I helped to arrange an event that took place at the museum. It was a Young Carers Day event, and we worked in conjunction with an organisation called Suffolk Family Carers. We invited young carers and their families to spend a day at the museum. So they just got to explore the museum and the exhibitions, they got to go on talks and tours. So they had a really lovely day, and it was all the more meaningful because it was just after lockdown, and some of these families have been following COVID restrictions quite strictly. So it was like the first day they'd had out as a family since then. I also gave them an activity pack and bag. So the activity pack had loads of activities and crafts they could do at home. They were all kind of related to the museum's collection, and all sort of had natural and sustainable materials.
Working at the Museum of East Anglian Life gives you a whole range of opportunities. We have a very varied programme, and because we have quite a small staff, it means you get the chance to get involved in lots of things. It could range from working with collections, but it could also involve helping with rounding up the sheep occasionally. You might get involved with a big project, so we've just restored Eastbridge wind pump, so there's been chances to do a bit of research for that, maybe get involved with some of the work that needed to be done. There's our events programme. We have all sorts of activities for people of all ages, right through from toddlers to adults, and we've just done sustainability workshops where we've made toothpaste and deodorant. So getting involved at the museum gives you a whole range of transferable skills.
Hi, my name's Chloe, and I'm the Visitor Services and Marketing Manager here at the museum. And back in 2011, I took part in the Skills for the Future training programme, where I was the Visitor Services trainee for a year. Everything that I learned on my traineeship has been the basis of which I've built upon. I did such a varied amount of activities. I took part in so many different aspects of the museum and how the museum runs, and it's helped to inform everything that I have then done and how my career has progressed.
Hi, my name is Lois. I'm an ex-Museum Futures trainee. I now work at Colchester Castle and with Colchester Borough Council. I really enjoyed my traineeship. It gave me so many opportunities to get into something that I love. Having not gone to university, it was an amazing way to get into museums, and I'm really pleased that I'm still working in them now.